Anchors up, sells it full. Welcome to the Sloopcast. How are you doing today, Kyle?
Doing all right, Jared. Doing all right. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. Are we going to do this all episode?
Sure. We are. No, we're not.
No.
Week 12. We are week 12 of the season already, Jared.
We are.
Makes me sad.
Listen, I'm going to be real with you.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, doing 4 episodes a week and all the graphics and all the editing and all the stuff I do on this side of the call, you know, it's just at a certain point you become ready. When that burnout starts to set in. All right. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're doing our Sloopicks. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. We got 6 games to pick. But you're probably saying to yourself, hey, I see 7 on here. Well, you can listen to the 7th one of Ohio State Northwestern in our Thursday's episode. But we're going to talk about the other 6 games here. We are picking against the spread per the CBS Pick'ems as they lock them in. Some of them may have changed by the time you're listening to this, but we're going off of what CBS locked in their Pick'em. This week's guest picker is Cousin Jay. Cousin Jay, a back-to-back Sloopcast Pick'em winner here, looking for a three-peat here. So we're going up against him this week to see how we do here. So we'll go ahead and start with Tulane.
Before we get started, I just want to do a quick disclaimer.
Mm-hmm.
I made all of my picks before I saw anything else.
Same here.
Okay, let's get started.
I sent some cheating here.
That really was the opposite of my intention.
Jared just laying it out first before
that was the literal opposite of my intention. Actually, the opposite.
Integrity. All right,
integrity.
First one here is Tulane and
Army.
Jared, it's not Army. It's Navy.
Oh, did I?
It's Navy. Not Nauvoo, Navy. There you go.
not the blue cat creatures from that movie that everyone saw and then immediately forgot about.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Exactly.
But we're talking about
you just
Tulane
proved my point.
Tulane and Navy. Tulane coming into this game a 6.5 point favorite. I'll go ahead and start this one. Tulane's on a roll. I pick Tulane. I think Navy's I think their ship is sinking, so to speak. So I will pick the Green Wave to cover.
Cover the waves, sink the battleship?
Yes, they're going to sink the ship. Yes.
Okay. These are, for the 2024 season, these are actually 2 of the better teams against the spread this year. Tulane's 8-2, Navy's 8-3. Tulane's 8-2, Navy is 6-3. See, I wrote Navy in my damn notes. I don't know what I was thinking when I made the board. I think we literally had Army sitting in that slot last time, and I just may not have changed it. Anyway, Navy's been on a bit of a slide since getting throttled by Notre Dame. However, they were perfect against the spread before that game, except for week 1 against an FCS school, if I remember correctly. I'm going off notes on that. So Tulane has only failed to cover when they were dogged, which was against Oklahoma. And they also didn't quite hit a 21.5 point spread against Rice. So with this number only being 6 points, I feel pretty good taking Tulane. I'm going to take them to win. And I think I'd take them to cover up to like 9.5 even. I think I'd start to get scared around 10, 11, 12. But if it's going to stay under 9, in this case 6, I'm going to go ahead and take Tulane.
All right. Cousin Jay, our guest picker for this week here, says the midshipmen are down a bit the last few weeks. So he's picking the favorite of Tulane.
You also took Tulane, right?
I did, yes.
If Jared picks Tulane, you should
pick Army.
Well, it's Navy. So.
All right. Next game is Utah taking on Colorado. Noon game. And Colorado is a 10.5 point favorite in this game. What you got, Jared?
Oh, it caught me in a yawn. Utah's only covered 3 times this year. That's it. Only 3 times. And Colorado has only failed to cover twice this year. So as far as against the spread records, it's totally lopsided. It's worth noting that the 2 games that Colorado didn't cover were week 1 and week 2. And they are in a 7-game against the spread winning streak actively right now. Colorado has the hot hand. Give me Prime and the boys.
All right. Yeah, I got Colorado in this game too. I just think they're one of the hotter teams right now. Playing a lot right now. They're in that mix to make the playoffs here if they continue to win and then win their conference here. So, yeah, I think they have a lot to prove here. So I got the Buffaloes to cover as well. Cousin Jay says Prime had them rolling, and I don't see it stopping here. So he picks Colorado.
All right, Kyle. 3 games, if we include Ohio State Northwestern, which we picked on the Thursday episode. 3 games so far, and we've all picked in a cluster. We've all on all 3 games, all 3 of us have picked the favorites. All right. Next game.
All right. Next game here we have LSU heading on over to Gainesville to take on Florida. 3:30 kickoff, and the Tigers of Baton Rouge are a 5.5 point favorite.
Esquire asks,
Lagway playing?
Is Lagway playing?
I don't know.
See, this is a tremendous question.
That is.
Because, and I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. Is it my turn? Am I picking first this time?
Well, I'm picking first, but if you want to talk, go ahead, Jared. I already made my pick, but you go ahead.
Okay. Both of these teams were throttled last week. Florida had a 5-game against the spread win streak, but that was before Lagway was injured. If Lagway returns this week, I think Florida not only covers, but wins. But as we record this, we don't know if he will play or not. But since I don't have a good feeling about how this game goes if he doesn't play, I'm going to go ahead and gamble that he does play and pick Florida to cover.
All right. Interesting. Yeah, I just...
Basically, but to answer your question, Esquire, last I looked right before we started recording. And again, we record these on a Tuesday in case, I know people listen to this on a Friday, but we record this on a Tuesday. Last I saw, he practiced Monday, or rather he was on the practice field Monday. I don't know what that means. He did go through pre-game warm-ups last Saturday. So questionable, leaning towards probable, maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah. Hamstring issue here. Unfortunately, like Jared and I recording this Tuesday, this being coming out Friday. Their injury report comes out on Wednesday, so we're going into this blind, not knowing if he's going to be playing or not here. But I don't know. My gut feeling is with LSU in this one here. Florida just seems to be a up and down team here. I just yeah, and I understand like LSU lost big to Alabama just this last weekend here, but
Florida also lost big the last time they were on the field.
Yeah, they lost big to Texas as well too. So in this game, when in doubt, pick the quarterback. I'll pick LSU here. I'll pick LSU. So I got so I'll pick LSU.
What's cousin Jay have to say?
I don't know. You tell me. I'm sure. Oh, hey, look. He has the underdog here of Florida, saying LSU reeling and Florida rallies around it. Lagway plays.
Excellent.
So, very interesting, Jared.
Very interesting. Listen, I told you, the graphic is already made. Yeah.
But just as interesting as our first ad break here.
Hopefully.
So we'll go ahead and take our first ad break here. The Sloopcast.com is your go-to stop for all of the Sloopcast links to get to our Discord page, discord.thesloopcast.com, our YouTube page, merch store, our 7071 store, Spotify, or if you want to help support Jared and I, you can go to our Patreon store, patreon.thesloopcast.com as well for as little as $3 a month. Again, that is thesloopcast.com is your destination to find anything and everything Sloopcast related. So we'll go ahead and take our first ad break and be right back.
All right. Next up,
we got the Broncos and Trojans of Boise State and San Jose State.
Can you say Jose for me one more time?
Jose.
I like
Jose.
I like your accent on that.
San Jose.
Yeah.
Night kickoff, 7:00 in San Jose, California. Boise State, the Broncos, Jared, in this matchup is a 13.5 point favorite.
Yes, sir.
It is your pick. It is your pick in this one. So who do you have?
So, with the exception of last week's game, so just throw that out right off the top. Boise's worst against the spread performance was missing the cover versus Georgia Southern by 2 points. That being said, they only won by 7 points last week when they were favored by 23.5 against a pretty bad Nevada team. So was Boise exposed last week, or was it an anomaly?
Mm-hmm.
This is the question. Have they peaked? Have they run out of magic? Or was it just like, Ohio State's Nebraska game? I think I'm going to bet on the latter. I'm going to say it was an anomaly. I'm going to go with Boise to win and cover.
All right. Yeah, I got the same here. Boise State has a lot to prove here. They went out. They're in the playoffs. So they got a lot to prove here. I know they kind of struggled last week against Nevada here, but I think they'll get back on the train. They'll light it up here. And
Kyle, back on the horse was right there.
Yes,
get back on the horse. They're the Broncos. It was right there.
Get back on the horse. Yes, you're right, Jared. But I got the Broncos to cover here.
All right. What's his cousin Jay have to say?
I'm sure you know already, don't you?
I I do know what his pick is. I don't know what I didn't read his reasoning. What?
You see, guys? You see, guys?
Hey,
I caught him.
I make the graphic ahead of the show. His coin is already placed.
See, look at these spikes down here. See, cousin Jay says Boise's on a mission. He's picking the favorite in this matchup.
Next game.
All right, next game is Tennessee and Georgia. In Athens, Georgia, where the Bulldogs are a 8.5 point favorite. My pick to start off with here. Not gonna lie, kind of surprised with this point spread. Even as we're picking here, Jared, it is at 10. It moved up to 10-point favorite for Georgia here.
Really?
Is Nico playing? Well, that's
another good question.
That's another great
again might come up in my analysis.
that is a great question here. I do know that he was like in a concussion protocol here. I'm just going to put my faith that he's going to play in this game. Because honestly, this might be a playoff deciding game here. Tennessee loses, they're out, most likely. Georgia loses, they're definitely out then. So this is another playoff caliber match game here. I think this will be really, really close. So 8.5 points to Georgia. I'll pick Tennessee to cover.
Let's see. I don't know what to make of Georgia anymore. It's hard to tell which Bulldog team will show up week to week. On the other side, Tennessee lost Nico last week and didn't look the same without him. Josh Hoople sort of insinuated that they expect him to play Saturday. Like, I looked up the press conference. He seemed kind of positive about it. I guess I'll take his word for it. I'll assume Nico's playing. You know, and even if he does play, I'm still not really sure who wins this. But I like the 8-point buffer. This game feels a lot more like a toss-up to me than it does feel like a game in which anyone wins by multiple scores. 8.5 just feels like it's too much. So I am going to go with Tennessee.
All right.
You picked Tennessee as well, right, Kyle?
I did, yeah. All right, let me scroll right to see what Cousin Jay says here. Georgia just isn't very good. Tennessee in the points knocking Georgia out of the playoffs.
Further out of the playoffs.
Wow.
We're brain synced.
Interesting, Jared.
We're brain synced.
Very interesting.
Hey, man.
Very interesting, Jared.
I already told you what was going to happen. Okay. And by the way, you're only one game different yourself, so
it's more than you.
I mean, that's math. That is in fact how math works.
It is how math works here. All right, our last game here is Oregon heading on over to Madison. Night game is another night game where Oregon heads on over to the Big Ten West. I know that's not how it works right now, but there's that analogy still play in fact here. Night game in Wisconsin. Will it be a really hostile environment? Can Oregon hang on to win, and more importantly to our pick'ems here? Can they cover? 14.5 points is the spread for this game, Jared. What do you have? Can the Ducks jump around? More like, can the Ducks quack around?
Can a duck jump? They don't have knees, do they?
kind of. No, they do. They squat. Yeah, they do.
Does flying count as jumping? No, those are different things. Anyway, I do want to know if ducks. I got YouTube comments. Let me know if ducks can jump. Wisconsin had a good October, both just on the field and against the spread. Seems like they've come back down to earth since then, however. And this is including a 32-point loss to Iowa the last time that they were on the field. You know, Kyle, I asked the YouTube people to look that up.
Well, they can pause and leave a comment.
Kyle, it's called engagement farming, and you just salted the lands.
It's fine.
No, it's not fine. You can't salt the farmlands.
It's fine.
Kyle doesn't know how to YouTube. I swear to God.
I don't.
Like, comment, subscribe. Where the hell was I? 32-point loss to Iowa the last time that they were on the field. Since the start of October, Oregon has been incredibly solid against the spread, going 5-2. The two non-covers were missed by a grand total of 4 combined points. So even when they didn't cover, they still almost covered. So all signs pointing towards Oregon. The one thing bouncing around in the back of my head, however, is the whole West Coast Big Ten team coming east and how those teams mathematically perform worse against the spread. But fuck it, I'm picking Oregon either way. Or anyway, rather.
What's Wisconsin's record this year?
Overall or against the spread?
Overall.
5-4?
5-4. They're 5-4 here. Lost their last 2 games here. 42-10 against Iowa, 28-13 against Penn State here. Yeah, they're not playing too well. They haven't scored a ton of points since a month ago when they put up 42 against Rutgers here. They're going to need to put up a lot of points, and that's what Oregon does here. So, needing to score more than 2 touchdowns and a field goal here. I think Oregon can do that. So I will pick the Ducks.
What does Cousin Jay have to say?
Let me go here. Let me scroll here.
59-10. That'd be poetic.
Simply said, the Fighting Fickles stand no chance.
Short and sweet. That, or those rather, are your Sloop picks. We went incredibly. I'm not even sure how to describe this. We were very agreeable this week. Literally, Kyle picking LSU is the only difference in all of the picks this week. There's a lot of agreement happening. We're healing. We're coming together as a podcast. We're reforming our coalition. We're becoming one again. Unless, of course, you're in Gainesville, Florida, in which case Kyle is still dissenting. All right. That's it for the Sloop picks. We all picked Tulane. We all picked Colorado. Jay and I picked Florida. Kyle picked LSU. We all picked Boise. We all picked Tennessee. We all picked Oregon. We all picked Ohio State. Listen, say what you want to say. I'm a man of integrity. Kyle, it is time for our new favorite game.
The second ad break?
Well, that's not a game, that's business. But why don't you go ahead and talk about that ad break anyway?
Sure. TheSloopcast.com is your go-to link for everything Sloopcast related. Don't really want to go to Patreon to support us. Head on over to merch.thesloopcast.com where you can find some great Sloopcast gear. Or if you're not into podcast type of shirts, you can head over to 7071.thesloopcast.com where you can find some great shirts that Jared's made in honor, or not honor, and like homage to.
Well, that's
different...
trademarked. You can't say that. In celebration of.
There you go. In celebration of the different towns and cities in Ohio. So you can catch those links and other links over at thesloopcast.com. So here's those ad breaks and be right back.
It's time for business. All right, now it's time for pleasure.
It is.
I'll tell that part later. This is Chaos Theory. This is a game that we play every single week on this show. The rules are very simple. You must pick an unranked team to beat a ranked team. Kyle, we might need to update these scores now that the playoff rankings are out. So just maybe double check that for me. Make sure we're still square. Cause I did mine. I predo the graphics for me and the guest.
Sure. Sure.
We might need to update it now that but I did it based off of the AP. Now that the playoff rankings are out, we might need to adjust it.
Okay.
Do you want to go first? Should we let Cousin Jay go first? Do you want me to go first?
Let's do Cousin Jay. Let's do Cousin Jay first. He has, for his Chaos Theory pick, yes, Florida over LSU.
Florida over LSU. Now, I put that down as 11 points as LSU was ranked 15th in the AP. What is LSU ranked in the... Should we keep it by the AP? Because that's maybe how Cousin Jay picked it. Or, I don't know.
That's a great question.
Should we just stick with the AP?
Because in the... I'm just confirming real quick here. In the standings here, not standings, I'm sorry. In the rankings here, they have LSU 22nd.
It's a pretty big drop. Let's just stick with the AP because it's not fair to change that underneath Cousin Jay, who can't change his mind live on the show like we could.
Well, the AP is 21st.
For LSU?
The AP is 21st. Yeah, for LSU.
Did I just write down the wrong thing?
You must have, yeah.
Okay.
Let's just if it's only that 1 point, if it's just that one difference, let's just do the playoff.
Okay. So what are they playoff ranked again?
They are 22nd, which would be 4 points. You can't change
the rules midway through. Well, it's not that we're changing the rules, it's that the playoff rankings now exist. So I want to set a standard. Do we stick with the AP or do we switch to the playoff rankings? And that puts the guest picker at a pretty big disadvantage because the playoff rankings come out while we're recording. So Kyle and I can make a change on the fly, but the guest picker can't.
That's true. All right, let's just stick to the AP then.
Okay.
Let's just sticking
to the AP.
So that would be 21st. So that would give that would be 5 points.
Okay.
All right.
I knew I could get the chat on this on my side on that by simply saying that I would get an advantage that they don't get.
All right. All right. What do you got, Jared? Who do you have here? Since we're going to lowest score to highest.
Honest to God, when I first did this,
here we go.
I also picked LSU to lose. However, I said, oh my God, I can't have all of the same picks as cousin Jay.
Oh, he's looking, guys. He's looking.
But I had made my pick first. I want that to be very clear. I had made my pick first, and then I put it in the graphic. And then after I got all of my stuff done on the graphic, I went and I looked at cousin Jay's stuff. And I got back and it said, oh, we also have this one in common. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have all of the everything the same as cousin Jay. And I thought this week, when I was looking for my chaos theory pick, I saw 3 games that I really liked. I think there are 3 games that are very good chaos theory pick games this week. So I simply went to the other one because I didn't want it to be the same as cousin Jay.
All right.
So if you want to say that's cheating, then you can just tell me, no, Jared, you get LSU. But I didn't want it to be the same all the way through, so I changed it. If I'll give you the call, if you want to tell me, no, Jared, go back to LSU, then I'll do it.
You pick your team. You pick your team, Jared. You pick your team.
I got BYU to lose this week. Can I get a double check on the BYU ranking? They were 9th in the AP, I believe.
Let me.
No, but we're sticking to the AP. We're sticking to the AP. Never mind.
They are 7th in the AP.
What the hell was I looking at?
Maybe last week's?
I must have whatever I was looking at must have still had
last week's.
Whatever I was looking at must have still had last week's rankings on it.
There's six in the CFP rankings, but 7th in the AP.
Okay, so we're going with AP. Therefore, that gives my pick 2 extra points. So cool. I'm fine with that. So Kyle, that leaves you. I don't know. I didn't pre-populate yours. I don't know yours ahead of time.
Yeah. You cheating bastard. No. I think it's going to be a good game here. Night game. It's a Big 12 team matchup here. They're a 9-point underdog here, but they've been playing pretty well recently here. I'm going to pick the Sun Devils. I'll pick the Sun Devils to beat Kansas State. Kansas State. Let me just verify. They are. I'm losing some points here. They're 16th in the CFP, but they are 20th in the AP. So that would be 6 points.
I said I had 3 games I really liked. That wasn't one of them. But now that I actually hear you say it, maybe I just missed out on that opportunity. For the record, I thought the 3 good games were the 3 good upsets to predict were LSU, BYU, and not that I think Oregon's going to lose, because I don't. But as a big swing, on the road, Madison, and you literally get 25 points for it, as a big swing, I thought about it. I didn't pick it, obviously, but I did think about it. I think it's not as likely to happen as the 3 picks that are currently on the board. Granted, it's a lot less likely than the 3 picks currently on the board. But the upside.
Mercer? Why don't you pick Mercer?
Mercer. But the upside is huge. So I think Oregon. If I were I think what could be.
I think what could be a sneaky good game. Not a lot of points. What are they ranked right now? I don't even know what they're ranked. But I think what it could be a sneaky good game here is a noon game here. Oh, wow, they're 17th, higher than the CFP. Both teams are playing terrible. Both teams are playing terrible here, but at home, and you're hosting Clemson here. Maybe Pittsburgh can get the surprise win here.
Are they not both? Did Pitt become unranked?
Let me double check. Yeah, they are not ranked. They are not ranked. That could be another sneaky pick. I mean, that's only they're 17th, so 9 points.
Yeah,
that could be a sneaky one too.
Yeah, no, okay. So you know what happened? I was looking at the games on ESPN, and I don't think ESPN updated it with the new AP. I think they still had the old CFP.
Gotcha.
So I may have not made educated, properly informed decisions, because I agree with you. I think so. When I said there was only 3, I agree with you that the Kansas State pick's a good pick, and I didn't have that one clocked. And I agree with you that the Pitt pick is actually a really good pick, and I didn't have that one clocked either because I was looking at the wrong rankings. And I thought Pitt was still ranked.
Wow. Texas is only a 13.5 point favorite on the road to Arkansas.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He said that was my sneaky pick.
Sneaky as in putting money on it, or sneaky as in you'd pick Arkansas? I don't think has a chance in hell.
Arkansas is hit or miss. They've played bad, then they played good, then they play bad, then they play good, and then last week or 2 weeks ago, they lost by 32 points to Ole Miss. Could they play good again here?
Okay, what is SEC teams? Some of these SEC teams, Arkansas, Georgia, South Carolina, are tremendous some weeks and garbage the next weeks. Alabama and LSU could fall into that category too.
Absolutely, yeah.
The SEC teams are wildly inconsistent this year.
Mm-hmm.
Just wildly inconsistent. Y'all got mad at Ohio State for having a bad game against Nebraska, in which they still pretty easily won. It's really Ohio State's one bad game on the year. Now go take a look
easily,
at any.
I want to say easily, but go on. They won by 4 points.
Yeah, but they had control of the ball at the end. Okay. Like it wasn't, you know what I mean? It's not like we had to score at the last second or Nebraska had the ball at the last second. We had the ball, we ran out the clock, we ended the game. Anyway, but that's Ohio State's worst game on the year. Easily. And yes, I'm aware of the fact that Ohio State lost a game, but winning by 4 against Nebraska at home is way better than losing to Oregon by 1 on the road. And I'll stand by that. I'm just saying, all the SEC teams feel wildly inconsistent, and Ohio State's had like one bad game this year. That's my point.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
A Michigan fan thinks Oregon is fake good. Yeah, they would think that. They don't think success comes through actually being good, but rather cheating. They don't understand what good football looks like.
All right. You got anything else, Jared? Anything else you want to bring up? Talk about any other games or any other stories that you've seen here?
No, I think I'm good. I think I got everything I need. Got to talk about everything we wanted to talk about. I definitely did not cheat. Everyone can shut the hell up. And do anything in Kyle's corner.
I'm obligated to not talk about basketball, so I don't.
You talked about basketball yesterday. Nothing's happened in the 40 minutes since you talked about.
I could talk about the women's basketball. Gosh, Jared.
Fine, point. Just make me look like I'm anti-feminist, like I'm a misogynistic asshole, Kyle. Jeez.
No, I really don't have anything else here. I'm still I know I repeated this last week though, but Ohio high school football playoffs are some of the best. We're here at
I'd argue they're too big,
3.
but please proceed.
We're week 3. Week 3 here, and this is when things get really good. Now the first 2 weeks.
I'm sorry, Kyle, but that's not a good playoff system. It's not a good playoff system if things get good in the third week of the playoffs.
I mean, point taken. But
it's like, oh, hey everyone, you should definitely watch this anime. Oh, really? I might check that out. Now, just so you know, it doesn't actually get good until like episode 110. Oh, pass. Yes, I'm talking about One Piece. Please proceed, Kyle.
I'm just really, really excited. I think this is the regional semifinals this weekend here. So I think we're going to see some good games. We're going to see some upsets here. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how some of these high schools do this weekend.
Excellent. Your boys still in it?
They are still in it. They're a number 1 seed in Region 26 of Division 7. Yes, Division 7, the lowest division.
Not lowest.
In
smallest.
Ohio football.
Smallest.
The smallest, yeah.
Low feels like a quality statement. Small is just mathematically accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you a misogynist, Jared? Because I grew up in a society that enforces that. And we all have internalized misogyny.
They've outscored opponents 80-16 in the first 2 weeks.
Nice. Very nice.
I mean, but that's still nothing close to to the number 1 team in Division 7 who's outscored their first 2 opponents. I can do math here. 124-14.
Where was the comedy in that answer? The comedy was that I took your obviously jokey answer and then answered it seriously. It's just a little bit of deadpan. Like I took your obviously jokey question and answered it as seriously as possible, which in turn just sort of makes me look like a clown for taking it seriously. That's where the humor comes in. It's at I'm pieing myself in the face by making it look like I'm the type of person who would actually, take your question that seriously in the middle of a sports podcast that tries to be funny sometimes.
That's it. That's all I got.
All right. That's the end of the episode. Tonight's ending music, once again, will be Defiance, Ohio. So with all that being said, I'd like to encourage everyone to drink local beer, listen to local music, and of course, support your local podcasters. Once again, this is Defiance, Ohio.